Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU material in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, it's time to pick up where we left off, and we're going to guide you into another hyperspace short. This time it's written by Rob Chesney. It's called Smuggler's Vanguard. Now it's the story of an old Republic smuggler named Hilo Weiss, and it's just a little short adventure with the smuggler. Does this impact the overall story in the Old Republic? No, it's just a separate story that happened independently from the main story. Is it worth your time reading? Sure, if you love the Old Republic, go ahead. Now it's so short that I can't give too much away about it without giving away the whole plot, but again, you can find this on savudu.com. Now, after that hyperspace short fiction, you then want to go to Star Wars 124 and read the short story by Paul S Kemp called The Third Lesson. It's a story about Darth Malgus after the Sith defeat at the Battle of Alderaan. If you like Darth Malgus, yes, you should actually read this. It's actually a pretty good story. If you don't really care that much for it, it can be skipped and you can go to the next book written by Paul S Kemp, which I'm about to get to in a minute. But first, focusing on Star Wars Insider Shorts. A lot of times, a Star Wars Insider would feature an author who had just had a book that was about to come out or had just come out, and he would feature a short story based on some of the characters in that book. Now, sometimes it was a separate adventure. A lot of times it was like a prequel chapter to the book. Do you have to read the Star Wars Insider to understand the book? No. They are kept completely separate, which is another great thing about the expanded universe. You didn't have to read what came before to understand what is in the present. Now, just a little note, if you're thinking about collecting all these Star Wars Insiders, there's a lot of them that have short stories in them. There are some that don't. You have to go back and look at a list and see the ones that don't. I don't really have one on me. The only reason I got Star Wars Insider back in the day, well, first off, was for Anthony Daniels' great articles about his memories about the original trilogy. And then when they had the short stories starting to post, I loved those the best. And that was the only reason I got the Star Wars Insider. Because really, all the other stuff I could read online. I didn't really know that. There were some good articles here and there. But overall, the short story was the main reason I love the Star Wars Insider. Now, after a couple of years, they removed that short story. And there were no short stories, so I canceled my subscription. And then, I can't remember the date, but at a certain time, actually it was Star Wars 124, when they started re-including short stories again. And I didn't know that until months later. So I had to go back and collect all the past issues that I'd missed that had short stories in it. And if you're doing that, whew, I feel sorry for you because you're going to spend a lot of money. Sadly, they never sent out a collection of stories from the Insider. I wish they would have because I definitely would have bought it. But if you're going to go back on through eBay or whatever else there is out there to collect these old issues, you are going to pay a pretty penny unless someone's selling them in bulk, which you really don't see that much anymore. And I say this because just finding those, I can't remember if it was 6 or 7 issues that I was missing, it took a while to find Star Wars 124. Now, it may have just been the time that I was looking for it. There may be a billion right now on eBay. Who knows? But at the time, I had a hard time finding that particular issue. Like I said, some of these issues you just have to wait and see when they pop up. They do pop up here and there. But a collection of the short stories, it's just so hard to find. So the next book you should read in the series would be Deceived by Paul S Kemp. And in Deceived, it tells the story of Darth Malgus and a rogue Jedi, Aren Lanier, who turns from the Jedi Order to go after Malgus for revenge against him killing her Jedi Master. What did I think of Deceived? Well, I'm going to tell you, I loved it. Another great hit by the Old Republic book series. Now, I was a little concerned when they announced these Old Republic books because I thought they were just trying to sell us something real quick to make a quick buck, to cash in on its success online. just like throwing the Old Republic label on there and saying, well, they'll buy whatever, who cares about the story. But once again, I was proven wrong, and I'm so happy in this case because I think this book is so good. Darth Malgus, they really go in depth with him. You really learn a lot about his character. You start to kind of understand his character a little bit better. Paul S Kemp does a wonderful job with that. I can't get over how good a job he did with that. The second reason why I really like it is because it doesn't end the way you think it ends. I know, when I told you that a Jedi is turning from the Order and going after to kill Darth Malgus for killing her Jedi Master, you're thinking the same thing, right? You think, oh, I know how this ends. Either she's going to get down and maybe get to kill Malgus and go, no, I can't, because if I kill him, I'll be a dark side too. Or maybe it'll be an ending where Darth Malgus ends up being the stronger one and kills her too. A nice dark ending, right? Okay, none of the above. I'm not going to spoil how it ends, but it just doesn't end the same way that you think it would. I was very happy for that. They surprised me. They take it at a different angle, and the approach was well done. So those are some reasons why I really like this book. Folks, that's all the time I have for today. I will see you next week with another review.